Hey guys, Scott back again with a new beer dissection video. Got a new one I've never had. It's always exciting when I can get beers that I've never had before, even for breweries I've never had before. But Seven Brothers, okay. They're calling it a hoppy pale ale. It's sessionable. It's only at 3.8%, okay, which is only a little bit north of Budweiser, okay. So, Budweiser's coming usually around, actually slightly below. I think Budweiser's in around 4.3, or at least American Lager is. Pale Lager's sitting somewhere like around 3.6. So I'm a little rusty on some of the numbers, but you get the idea. It's a sessionable pale ale. If you want to say IPA, there is a little bit of a gray area there. They are using oats and wheat in this. So when I see oats and wheat, I'm thinking that this is going to look a little bit more like a hazy than a typical American pale ale, like a Sierra Nevada pale ale. And it's going to have a lot less bitterness than that. But that's just my interpretation from looking at the can. They're out of brewed and packaged by Seven Brothers Brewing Company, Salford, Manchester, United Kingdom. Okay, so I got a beer from the UK here. This is the first time I've had one from, out of the country, unless, so Seven Brothers. And look, you can see hoppy ale, but I'm sure I'm going to have the pictures pop over my shoulder when I wound up editing this. But 3.8%, I'm not going to go into the whole pale ale story and UK in the 1700s and why we got there. I have other videos under the What Is style that you can get that history if you're a beer geek and you like to hear it. If not, just fast forward and we'll get to the whole thing. But 3.8 is sessionable. So maybe I'm going to be pleasantly surprised if this is from the UK at 3.8% and it says pale ale, that this may be similar to some cask condition ales over there, that they may be stuck in cans and they're importing it. The date looks like from April 14, 2023. So maybe that's the canning date. So again, I was thinking when I had this delivered from a local beer store out here in New York on Long Island, through DoorDash. And it's funny because there's not many beer stores that have it, but there's one particular beer store that has all these exotic beers. And sometimes I order from them. So if this one is indeed like a UK pale ale or cask condition ale, I'll be pleasantly surprised by it. They say thirst quenching session pale ale has citrus chops, refreshing, tropical wallop. We'll judge that ourselves here, okay? So again, this may be a beer, depending on where you're watching this here, if you're in New York or whatever. If you're in Long Island, you can get this, message me, I'll send you where I picked it up. If you're anywhere else in the country, you may have a hard time getting this. If you're in the UK, you may actually have this readily available. Okay, so from Seven Brothers, okay. I actually believe when I was ordering it online, I didn't even know. I thought it was a local brewery in New York in the United States that I never heard of before. But so anyway, let's crack this bad boy open here. So if it's a pale ale, I wouldn't be surprised if they're using like Fuggles or East Kent Golden hops, which kind of gives you that earthy, herbal, kind of woodsy kind of character. But we'll see, okay? But again, 3.8%, which again is only a little bit higher than Budweiser here in the United States. Okay. All right, so what do we have here? I got my typical tulip pint glass here. So we got about 2 inches, white, frothy head, pretty tight bubbles. Almost looks meringue-like at the top. You're not going to be able to see it completely the way I'm angling this. But let's take a sniff of the aroma. The color actually kind of got this light gold to medium gold color. There's maybe a little bit of chill haze there. I should actually take that back because they said they're using some wheat and oats. So that's why I kind of got thrown off, because a lot of New England IPA hazies, juicies use oats and unmalted wheat. There's a high protein content. It kind of gives the haziness to the beer as well as the polyphenols from the hops with New England IPA here. But They don't go into too much detail on what hops they're using, but I'm taking a look at, once again, brewed and packaged Seven Brothers in Manchester, UK. So it's definitely from the UK. So again, looks very nice. Okay, so let's take a sniff of the aroma. It's funny, I get kind of like an apple, like a green apple, like a Granny Smith apple aroma on this. So there is some citrus. So if someone wanted to say like lime, it kind of has like a little bit of a lime pith to it. Malt-wise, it's, you know, white bread, maybe bread crust at the very dark, you know, the very most. But you can kind of tell from the color of it. But again, citrus, lime, you know, pith or lime zest. But again, I get that Granny Smith apple in there too, which is usually a little more tart. Okay, for those of you, maybe if you're watching it out of the country, Granny Smith's a green apple here in the United States. But very nice. Okay. Okay, but it's not, what's funny is it's not giving me like that cask conditioned ale, you know, taste or pale ale taste that I would, or aroma, I should say, that I would expect from something from the UK, but let's see. All right, so guys, cheers. Low carbonation, low to moderate carbonation, which most English beers are lowly carbonated because they kind of base themselves off the old cask conditioned ales. I won't go into that. I may have a video up on about that already. You know, you're kind of left. I mean, it's from the UK, so I'm thinking this has probably been, as I said, with the date, because I am getting a little bit of like a papery cardboard taste to it. So I'm wondering if it's oxidized a little bit. So it was April. I'm filming this. This was canned in April. I'm filming this in the end of June of 2023. So it really should not be that old, but you know, if it is being shipped overseas, we don't know how they're actually handling it. Very crisp. I do get that lime again, citrus on the taste buds here. Very simple malt. Like I said, white bread, wheat bread. Not really much malt backbone to this. The mouthfeel is kind of moderate. There's no alcoholic warmth at 3-point-something%. I'm not really even, you know, not even close to that range. Very clean, crisp beer. I could see this would be like a very crushable, not because it's just strictly the alcohol percentage, but the crispness of this beer, kind of a patio crusher, quaffable, highly drinkable, very easy, but really nothing's jumping out. Like when I saw UK, I'm thinking it's going to be kind of like a cask conditioned ale. This is tasting to me like kind of a poorly made hazy IPA, New England IPA, because it's really, that's why I was checking the date again, because if the beers do age, sometimes the first thing you lose is hop flavor and aroma, as well as some bitterness. Sometimes you'll get what they call malt shift, which kind of makes your malt taste a little bit more like either, you know, it depends on the color of the malt. I'm not going to go down that wormhole right now, but sometimes you'll get lighter malt tasting a little bit darker, like you maybe get like caramel notes, things like that. Again, I'm not going to go dive into that too deep, but it's, again, pretty light. It's almost drinking like a Gosa or some of your other sours without the lactobacillus. It's very crisp and clean. So anyway, guys, today's beer dissection was from Seven Brothers. It's saying from the UK, Hoppy Pale Ale. Listen, you know, if you happen to see this in the United States, you may or may not see it. I may just got lucky when I saw it. If you want a crisp, refreshing beer, I can see if you serve this really cold. I didn't really chill it down that much because I thought it was a typical like kind of cask conditioned beer that was then canned from the UK and sent over here. Chill this bad boy a little bit more. Hot summer day, I can see this being a very refreshing drink, barbecue food, whatever. Very low alcoholic percentage, so it's not going to affect you too much. But you know, it's just kind of average to me. If I had to give the overall drinkability of this thing a grade, like I do on some of my beers, I would say C plus. There's really nothing to compare it to. If I was comparing it to, say, some of your summer ales nowadays, you know, again, I'm filming this in late June. You know, whether it's Sam Adams, Big Beer, or whether it's some of your local breweries, I would probably go to those. This is kind of average. If you're experimental and you want to try it out, I don't think you're going to waste $17 to $20 on the 4-pack. But it's just kind of like, you know, mid-range. I really can't compare it. If I was going to compare it to something, it would be some of the summer ales that are out there. From Sam Adams, I'm on Long Island in New York in the U.S. You know, Montauk Brewing Company. I got some little micro places. You know, so because it has the citrus notes, it has a little bit of the carbonation, cuts through some certain foods. It's very low alcohol percentage, so it's not going to affect you too much. You sit on your patio in the summer, it's great, chill this bad boy down, but it's just very average to me. Other than that, guys, that's the beer dissection for today. I'm sure I've had to pop it over my shoulder while you're watching this. 7 Brothers, okay, Hoppy Pale Ale. Again, I almost consider it like a summer ale. You know, there's not much malt to it. There's not a lot of hop, you know, aroma, flavor to it that I would really put this high up on a lot of other beers. There's many other beers that I would pick for this time of the year than this beer. All right, guys, till next beer dissection video. See you next time. Take care.